Listen, I tried cutting my hair one time. Look what happened. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no telling how this is going to turn out. So.
You will not be able to stay home, brother.
First of all, fishkeeping is for everyone. You can believe that.
You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
You got questions? I got answers.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things.
None of this stuff is really all that hard.
And see, there may be another way to look at it that you have not been shown.
You just haven't heard it like I worded yet.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
But you got to subscribe to be live.
The revolution will not be televised, not be televised. There be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
Yo, what is up, all you stone cold, illmatic, stank, nasty, spunky monkeys, King Kongs of Aquariums? This is Aquafunk. And listen, a little over 2 months ago, I started on this project. This is a 45 deep substrate planted tanks. I got the inspiration from Fall Fish, my goal was to put together a planted tank as cheap as possible, so I went with a dirted substrate because I got the dirt from my... Anyway, listen, I'm not going to go into the whole rigmarole how I put it together. I'm going to leave a link in the description below of the series on me putting this tank together. This tank is for my live streaming. If you guys haven't seen my live streams, I wanted something pretty for you guys to look at, so I went outside of my wheel well, and I went with a planted tank because it you know, they...
I got bit on my... listen, it's Florida. It's the winter time, and I got bit by a mosquito.
So I want to do something different. I want to do something aesthetically pleasing for you guys while I'm doing my live stream. So I went with a planted tank, and because I wanted to do it cheaply, I went with what I had laying around. So it's a 45 planted tank, deep substrate, and it's the plants that are in there are plants that I've collected from the wild.
The ditches is where I got them from.
It's doing really well, as you can see, to the point where I got to trim it. This is my first time ever really messing with a planted tank to begin with, and I had to trim this overly stocked or abundantly stocked planted tank. One day, everything was fine. It looked good. Everything was looking really nice, and then I woke up one morning and it looked like this. And I was like, oh man, now I actually gotta trim it. Up until this point, I hadn't done nothing to it really. But here I go. This is my first attempt at trimming a heavily planted aquarium.
For the first time ever.
I did a review about a month ago on this thing. No, it actually was up for 3 months, I think.
Was it a month ago? 45 days? Yeah.
Anywho, I did a review about a month ago, and it looked like this. I hope I don't do too much of a hack job. All right, so I'm thinking this camera is gonna be focusing a lot, so bear with me. All right, let's start with the filter. I'm gonna have to clean the filter because these plants do shed, mainly because these guys pick at the plant leaves, so they get caught up in that one little overflow, for surface skimmer part of the filter. So I gotta clean that out. Hey, listen, real fast, let me get your attention. I work real hard at trying to make these videos entertaining, informative, educational, inspirational. So if you don't mind, please hitting the subscribe button, notification bell, and thumbs up. Leave a comment. I really want to know what you say. Doing those things really help my channel with the algorithm gods. It will propel my channel into the universe, and so that more people can hopefully learn something from this content that I put out. Also, if you really feel froggy, consider hitting the join button. Become a member of Aquafunk, this channel. I put out some fun things, and you get way more of me than you see right now. You get a whole unadulterated funk. So listen, all you have to do is hit the join button just to get a preview of the stuff that you can look forward to as a channel member. So just something to think about. So I gotta clean that out. Obviously, look at that. This is a tiger lily lotus or something to that effect. But it grows really fast, and it puts out these things at the top, which, you know, looks cool, but it cuts out a lot of the light. Look, you can see the dark side over here and the light side over there. Obviously, those plants are doing a little bit better, and these not so much. But I have noticed, if you notice, all the fish are over here. So they seem to like the cover. So I think I'm going to trim, but not so much, because they seem to really like that. But then again, I wish they would spread out. But, you know, it is what it is. I got one other issue I'm having. My little bonsai bonsai tree I did with the Java moss. Well, the Java moss is starting to spread. You see there? Spread to parts of the tank that I don't necessarily want them in, you know? So I got to get them out. Look, there's even some right here. How'd you get there? I have no clue. So I got to do something about that. These bigger plants right here have some algae. I need to get some Odos for this tank. Right now, I don't get any algae really on the sides of the glass or anything because I have two what are they called? Mystery snails, and I got 2 neurite snails in there, and they do a pretty good job at the algae. I don't keep the light on too long. It's probably on for like 6 hours a day, but I don't really have algae except for that stuff, you know, that brownish algae. So I need to trim that back. You know, it's just too high. This stuff right here, I meant for this. I originally, when I put this in there, I planned for it to be low. So I'm gonna trim this lower, and I'm gonna trim some of this stuff over here. I might, you know, I'm gonna keep that bushy right there. Oh, you see that piece of driftwood right there? That driftwood I put in after the fact. I want it in that corner, so I need to make some room in that corner for that. And yeah, I want to open this up. I want to open this up the middle. I still don't know if I'm gonna get. See, here's the thing. I could take all that stuff out, and I'll have at least 5 more shoots at the end of the week. So I think I'm gonna take it all out, except for this stuff low beneath the driftwood. Or I can cut it right at the driftwood, and like I said, after a week it'll be lush again. So I got to take out some of this water in here, but when I lifted up the hood, I found something that is kind of gross. It's really gross, actually. It's not kind of gross, it's really gross. I lifted up the hood and I found this. You see that right there? That is a egg cluster from that's an egg cluster from the mystery snails. As soon as I saw it, yeah, my reaction was pretty much this. Something I should have mentioned before is I should have turned off the filter before I started. I lowered the water just a little bit so that I can when I stick my hand in there, it doesn't, you know, it rises up. It gives me a little bit of room to work with. But I got to turn off the heater. Well, no, I can leave the heater on because it's still beneath the water level. But I need to turn off the filter so I don't burn it up. Plus, I need to take the filter media out, and the water that I just used for this is what I'm going to clean the filter media with. Might as well, right? All right, so I turned off the filter. These are the tools that I'm going to be using. I got me a scrubby. I got me a little net to pick up all the little debris. I got me some tweezers. I got that. I got me some scissors. And then I have this right here. And I think this is for like moving sand around and stuff. I've never used it. The only thing I could imagine this would be good for is for very small species of people doing hanky-panky.
Take that.
So I'm gonna start with the whole media thing, and I take this out, take this off. This is a TIDAL 55 that I got from one of my videos from KG Tropicals. Keep fish keeping. I don't know why I have such a problem with remembering that. It's keepfishkeeping.com. I guess it's too many keepings in one name. It throws me off. Now I'm gonna have to get these lilies right here, right? I have to get the lilies because they're in my way. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and chop them all off. I'm gonna chop them all off because they're gonna come right back soon, you know? So cut that there. right there, because while in my head I did a terrible job, I also know that this stuff is going to grow pretty soon. I took some of that java moss out. I need to take some more out, but that'll come in time. I already disturbed these guys enough. I found 2 other plants that I didn't know was growing. This, whatever that is, right there, and then this, and I think this right here. You want to know what I think that is? Can you let me see it? You say anyway. You want to know what I think that is right there? That green. That a friend of mine gave me this little cluster from his Amazon sword, and he was like, "Yeah, throw that in there." And I was like, "That's not gonna." It wasn't even a cluster. It was just like this, the little root thing. It was a ball of that, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." I threw it in there. I'm starting to get leaves. I actually cut the leaves across that way. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got an Amazon sword, I guess, is going in there. I cut this way down, but I'm telling you, wait till you see. And come to my live next week, but the week after that, you'll start seeing where it sprouted up. You want to know what that is? That is a tiger lily, and I got bulbs for the tiger lily from PetSmart. Now, the problem with that is you see this one right here? That's also a bulb that did not grow. You get the bulbs; they're like $6, and 2 come in a package. And I got 2 of them, so that was supposed to be 4 bulbs, and only 1 of them grew. Now I know you're probably like, well, you just burnt up, $12. Yeah, but that plant alone would cost more than $12. So I mean, it's kind of playing the odds. I cut this back, the back of the plant, so about right there. I wanted this to show better. I cut those down. I wanted room for the fish to move around. And the cool thing is like I said, I found that plant. I don't know what it is, but it was hiding. And so was this. So now that all these plants are gone from there, maybe now that they have more access to light, they can thrive a little bit more. We see what happens. But now I have to fill the tank back up, turn the filter on to try and clean all this up, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what it looks like all nice and clean and all that. And this, I actually decided to let it stay. That disgusting, grotesque thing right there, I'm gonna leave it there and see what happens. Why not? I really don't think I did too much of a bad job. Like I said, when you take into consideration that these plants are gonna grow back quickly, and they're gonna be a little bit, I'm assuming they're gonna be lusher, just a little bit shorter, and obviously you can see the fish without that cover are spread out more, and that's what the whole point of this was to give them more swimming room. So I'm satisfied. The bottom still has debris on it, which I didn't feel like disturbing them too much. So maybe next time I'll go ahead and sift out some of that surface debris with my little siphon thing. But I'm really happy. I'm really interested to see what these plants are going to look like. This one and that Amazon sword. And for those of you who I didn't mention, I didn't say anything about it, but I should have. Was wondering about what the lights I'm using. I'm actually using Hagar lights. I got these Hagar LED. They have all kinds of little bells and whistles also that I don't really use because I don't know enough about plants to use the light settings correctly. I just turn it on. Just like with the filter from FISHKEEPING.com, a link, well actually this one's a promo code where you can go to Consolidated Fish Farms and get 10% off, and these Hagar lights aren't that expensive for what you get to begin with. So I'm sitting on my back porch editing and stuff, and I can't help but notice the green. I just shaved my head right before I did this video, and I can't help but laugh at the green shine that's bouncing off of my dome. Not only will we be getting these extraordinary products with the discount on this one, but you also be helping out my channel because I do see a little bit of it, not much, but every little bit helps. So if you wanted a banging filter for your planet tank and you wanted some banging lights, go to those links down below. If you guys want to see the progression of this tank, consider subscribing and coming to my live streams. And every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can see me sitting right here in front of this aquarium, and you can see what the status is on these plants. I'm real happy the way it turned out.